time is 4 o'clock. This is Africa Today. We bring to you news around Africa. Sudan's protest organizers have called for a campaign of civil disobedience to topple the military council that has been running the country since President Omar al-Bashir was ousted on April 11. Sudanese Professionals Association, in a Facebook post, called for the sweeping civil disobedience to topple those it tagged as treacherous and kill a military council to finalize the revolution. It asked honorable members in the People's Armed Forces to be ready to confront the military council's militias and protect the revolutionaries and citizens. The call came hours after the military moved in to clear a protest camp outside the defense headquarters in the capital, Khartoum. The breakup of the sit-in follows the collapse of talks between the Transitional Military Council and the opposition forces for the declaration of freedom and change on the establishment of an interim government. Some Kenyan opposition politicians have called the new banknotes introduced over the weekend unconstitutional, as they use the image of former President Jomo Kenyatta. One side of the note features a statue of Mr. Kenyatta rather than a formal portrait. Amani National Congress leader Musalia Mudavadi is quoted as saying the image violates the law. The new notes, which are intended to tackle corruption and fraud, have also caused a lot of controversy, as the old 1,000 Kenyan shilling note worth $10 or £8 will be withdrawn from October. People who may have illicitly stored cash in the 1,000 shilling notes will now have to take them to the bank or risk losing their money. At least 73 people have been arrested in demonstrations in Cameroon as thousands of supporters of Maurice Kamto, the man who says he won the October 7 presidential election. The strong police presence and their anti-riot equipment did not deter demonstrators in several towns, including Douala, Banjul, Bofrassam, and Buda. Cameroon had banned protests in most of its cities, saying it was a threat to peace. They are seeking the immediate release of their party leader, among other things, and scores of his supporters have been jailed since January. At least a dozen people, including Kamto's first president, Momadu, martyr of the MRC party, have been arrested and detained in Yaoundé and Douala. The International Organization for Migration says 2 flights carrying an estimated 250 Ethiopian migrants are expected to depart Yemen and arrive in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, as part of the larger ongoing repatriation operation. The UN Migration Agency says it hopes to repatriate another 1,968 Ethiopian migrants who are being detained under horrific conditions in a sports stadium in the Yemeni port of Aden. 124 Ethiopian migrants over the weekend departed Aden Airport as part of IOM's voluntary humanitarian return. This is the first batch of migrants currently being detained in Aden. With the approval of the Saudi-led coalition and government of Yemen, 347 migrants have been flown home and 3 IOM chartered flights this past week. At the end of April, Yemeni authorities rounded up more than 2,000 irregular migrants in Aden. Most are Ethiopians. Also, the UN Refugee Agency says it has evacuated 149 refugees and asylum seekers from the strife-torn Libyan capital of Tripoli and brought them to safety in Italy. UNHCR transported the evacuees to a site near home. The evacuees from Eritrea, Somalia, Sudan, and Ethiopia included 65 children. 13 were younger than a year old. Somalia's ambassador to Libya, Muhayyiddin Mohamed Kalmor, says that amid Tripoli's volatility, UNHCR was better able than foreign diplomats to locate African refugees and move them to safety. Many of those evacuated suffer from malnourishment, according to Jean-Paul Cavalieri, UNHCR Chief of Mission in Libya. That was Africa Today. I am Amarachi Chiori. Thank you so much for listening. Good evening.